Okay, so I finished my base, and it's just maybe 1 or 2 rows longer than 6 inches, which is the size of my wrist. Now, when I finished, I ended up having a yard. It's just about a yard of wildfire left. So I kept it connected to my piece. There's no sense in cutting it off since I'm going to be doing the looping. And what I am going to do is I'm right down here at the very bottom row, and this is my left hand. So I'm going to take the needle and thread and go back through that top row, the row above the last one, and then pull it all the way through. And then this is where I will start my loops because I want to be on the right side. And I will take the needle and I'm going to come through the first bead and then out and in between the first bead and the second bead. Let me get that a little bit more in focus because it's a little too close, I guess. Okay, so the needle is through the first bead and then it comes out in between that first bead and that second bead, and then I'm going to pull, and now I'm ready to make my very first loop. And so what I want to do with this project is I want to have like a combination of well, think of like a vine, right? So I want it to be very viney, very willowy. So the technique with the loops is pretty simple. The more beads you use, the bigger your loops. So the fluffier your project. The less beads you use, then the tighter the loop and the tighter, you know, your bracelet looks. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. These are the 11-O's I chose. Hopefully you can see those. Yep. So I'm just going to pick up 2. And we're just going to start off small since these are the ends. So I'll pick up 2 seed beads. These are 11-O's. And then the middle bead, I refer to it as a decorative bead. And then I'll pick up 2 more 11-O's. Okay. And then I'm going to go through the right side of that first bead, through the first bead, through the second bead, and then all the way out. And let me bring this up to the camera. There is my first loop. And you can see how tiny it is, right? It's very tiny. And so we'll do another one. You can make a loop on every single bead if you wanted. It's just going to take longer to make. Or you can skip beads. So I just made a loop on the first bead and I'm making a loop on the third bead. So I'm going to the right side of that bead. And again, let me just make sure we're in the shot here. And then there are my first 2 loops. Let me just come up here. There we go. So there's my very first 2 loops. Now what I'm going to do, so I'm over here on the left side, right? This is the left side of the loom. So I turn the loom and I transfer the needle and thread to my right hand. And so we have a visitor. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the needle and I'm going through the first bead, the second bead, and then out and in between that second and third, because I just want to loop on the middle bead right there. So pull through, make sure I pull nice and tight. And again, since these are the ends of my bracelet, I'm just going to keep it keep it small. So we'll pick up one of these pretty white beads. I'm working from the Serenity bead kit. There's just a plethora of beads. So I'm going to let that fall. And now what I will do is I'll go on the right side of that bead and all the way out. So you're basically just in this repetitive motion of creating these loops on the beads. So then we turn the loom around so that we're on the right side again. And this is going to be really pretty. Okay, and I'm going to take the needle and thread and go through the first bead. And I'm going to stick with just this lower tight look for a while here. So I've got 2 seed beads, and we could pick up one of these pretty pinks. And 1, 2 on the right side of the bead, all the way out. And then again, picking up 1, 2, and ooh, this is pretty. And then back on the right side. Let me bring this up to the camera for you so you can just see. Okay, so I'm on the right side of that bead. And I just want to guide all this thread. Oopsie. Okay, so now I have, just within a matter of minutes, right, I just have like, I have 5 loops already. And I'm keeping it really tight just because, again, I'm, you know, gonna try to figure out my pattern where I'm just very organically making it more whimsy, more willowy. So we're back here on the right, and I'm gonna put a loop in the middle. So I go through the first bead and the second bead, and then I'm out and in between that second and third bead. And let's see, maybe we'll do, shall we do one of our, I don't know if I want those in the middle. I kind of want to show them off, those big guys. Oh, this is pretty. I've got like a frosted white bead. So 1, 2, and then again, we're going to go on the right side of the bead and all the way out. So hopefully you, if you've done one of these types of bracelets before, you can see that the thinner base really allows you to move quickly. So I'm out. Let's just make sure, yep, okay. Always want to make sure that, you know, your threads are actually pulled taut and that they haven't accidentally grabbed one of the loops, because that's a bummer. Okay, so we're going to pick up 1, 2, and I think, you know, I'm going to grab one of my daggers just to see what happens with that. So we'll do that. Oops. And we're going to go to the right side and all the way out. We just want to make sure it's not twisting here. So I'm just going to, yep, let's see, how does it look? We're good? Yeah, perfect. Okay, awesome. That's going to look really fun. All right, and then we'll do this next loop. 1, 2, and what do we got going on here? This is always the hardest part, right? Is like picking your beads. Got a little action going on behind us. And then 1, 2, okay? And we'll push those all the way out. Awesome. So I'm just going to keep doing this. We're just about at 10 minutes here, so I want to make sure that this is an easy view. I will keep working on mine, and you can follow my pattern. I will probably gradually add more seed beads, maybe, just to get like a little more loopy. And so just remember, less seed beads, tighter the project, right? Tighter the look, smaller the loop. The more seed beads you use, the bigger the loop, the more fluffy. So I might do a combination. We'll see. I've got a long way to go. So go ahead and get started. And I can't wait to see your expression of this willowy bracelet.